Yo, what's up, good people? The boys from the Fights and Geek Zone. We're back again with another amazing episode for y'all. As per usual, I'm Izzy,
I'm Real.
and we're going to be continuing with our MCU recap series.
Yeah.
Today, we're touching on none other than Avengers Endgame. We're now hitting our part two, basically,
Yeah.
of our Infinity War versus Endgame discussion. And just as with the previous episode, we'll start off by just breaking down the movie itself. Then we'll get into the direct comparison between the two. So, young, quick recap. Infinity War. This is Thanos' movie, as
Yeah.
we've established. It's
Thanos on the rampage, goes on his quest for his Infinity Stones,
Yep.
finds his Infinity Stones, wins.
Eliminates half
Wins,
the
yeah.
universe. Then we've got Endgame, which is basically the movie centered around correcting that.
Yeah.
And there's been some chatter and interesting conversations out there as far as what people rate the one versus the other. We'll get into that a bit later, but yeah, let's just speak to our view of the movie before we get into it. I don't know if you wanna. Let's not do overall. We'll touch on that later. But yeah, just some of the specifics as far as the touch points we enjoyed. So basically, we started off now with this is following the snap, and we open up with Tony Stark, with
Yeah.
Nebula in the ship. They on their way back to Earth because they were on the planet Titan when the snap
Yes.
occurred, and that's where
And they were the only two that survived.
yeah, that's where they lost the rest of the Avengers gang, and this is I think day 22 since the snap.
Yeah.
And I mean, sheesh, just by his his look alone, you can tell Tony's
He's a
now.
bit ragged.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
been through
he's
it.
seen better days.
Yeah.
To say the least, but you can imagine.
But
man,
also, he knows his time is finite as well.
yeah.
there's-
I mean, he's been having health issues pretty much from the get go.
And the oxygen's going to run out on the ship.
That's the
so,
thing.
Yeah.
Oxygen is running out on there. I mean, limited food and supplies.
Yeah.
But
So he's
also
got maybe a day.
22 days of
Yeah.
minimal food.
So he's got a
and
day or
drink.
two left.
Yeah, he's literally 24 hours away before the oxygen alone runs out. Never mind the rest of his body possibly giving out before then. And so he's out there doing his goodbye messages to Pepper, and from there we follow on the other adventures that follow. As I said, all towards reversing the actions of Thanos. I'll give them props because they ended off on such a emotionally hard-hitting note, and then they went right at the beginning and started off with that as well. Because sometimes this is essentially, as much as we're doing a two-part review, they also made a two-part movie.
Yeah.
In fact, initially the two movies were called, I can't remember if it was still Infinity War or what, but whatever the initial title was or subtitle,
Part two.
it was part one and part two. And then about a year or so before release of Infinity War, they scrapped it, and then they decided with Infinity War versus Endgame. And speaking of which, I absolutely hated the fact that they went to the part one and two, especially if they didn't stick to it, because it told me that whatever happens here is one half.
Yeah.
So even when I saw Thanos winning, and yes, it was a surprise, all of that, but part of me was like,
know
still
it's
the first
coming,
half.
yeah.
So, still hold a grudge against them for doing that to me, but that's just a small little aside. Actually, point of correction, the Tony thing is the second scene. The first is Clint and his
Oh,
family.
yes, of course. Yeah.
Then, he's with
Sorry,
his-
the reason the Avengers lost the first time.
yeah.
Clint
It's because he wasn't
He
there.
wasn't there. Hawkeye wasn't there.
Oh, so it's
So
not,
we knew they were going to win.
so it's not because Ant-Man didn't go up Thanos' ass.
No, or Thor didn't go for the head or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so which to their credit, again, still emotionally hard hitting.
Really emotionally hard hitting because, what is it? Was it Civil War where we got to meet his family,
Yes,
got to know
yes.
him a little bit better,
Yeah.
and grow to enjoy or bond with them as spectators.
And then now-
and it's literally he literally turned his head once, and turned his head twice, and his whole
and
family's
then
gone.
gone. Yeah. I think it's actually Age of Ultron, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, where we saw
Okay,
the
yeah.
But either way,
Yes,
we got to then, see him in his family mode.
Yeah.
And then now we're building on that. And then they're showing us the moment at which the snap occurred. Now, keep in mind, he's so far from the action. He has no clue what's going on. He doesn't know about Thanos and his mission, the snap.
He's on some farm in the middle of nowhere.
And he didn't even see a single one of his family members disappearing.
Yeah.
He just turned and then they were gone. So, I mean, the emotional whiplash that he must have been going through versus everyone else was on another level. Hence me saying it was still, an emotionally gut-wrenching scene, and then you get to Tony Stark. Then
a little bit of foreshadowing with Tony as well there. I just want to mention, because he was almost going to die at the beginning.
Yep. But we of course know.
And then his light came, this bright shining light came on him and he got saved.
The light you meant to avoid, is now out there and
saving him.
Captain Marvel actually saving him, and bringing him back to Earth. And this is now his first reunion with Cap.
Yeah.
Since back Civil in the days War, of Civil War, where they had the biggest falling out in the entire MCU. Stage. And remember, in Infinity War,
he was supposed to phone him, but
he was
didn't
meant to
get
call
a chance
him. And then shit went a little sideways just before he got the chance to dial. So now it's the reunion following that. And I don't know, how did that scene hit you? Like, again, it's like Tony in his first stage, he was about to die, and now it's him and Cap again.
So I got Iron Man 1 vibes from it. It's like he's,
yeah.
He's
forever getting rescued from some, funny little
I'm
things.
surprised they didn't put the cheeseburger in there.
Shout out Burger King, but yeah.
No, we love you, Burger King. Please sponsor us.
Actually, yeah.
So I like the little the side-by-side comparison there.
Okay.
Him coming back as drained and struggling. Also like the drama.
Yeah.
It's like we're lost. Oof. We lost. Oof. But where were you? You said we were going to lose together. Where were you?
But also, remember, that came later. Upon landing, he was like, we lost. And then the second thing he said was, I lost the kid.
Yeah.
I
think that they really showed how much Peter meant to...
And the fact that he even mentioned that before speaking of Pepper.
Yeah.
And not on some hierarchy type thing. Because remember, the videos were for Pepper. And as he was making the video, he said, I don't even know if he couldn't even finish the sentence, mentioning whether you got snapped or you around, I don't know. I'm doing this just in case. But the fact that Spider-Man was that high up on his priority list, just to mention, I lost the kid. I don't even know if they know who the hell he's talking about.
But also, they would know. Okay. Well, the kid, I'm assuming from Civil War, but the growth of Tony as well. It's like he doesn't care about himself, you know what I mean? So it's good to see that.
Yeah, damn, good point.
Yeah.
Then you get to the confrontation on, hey man, I needed you, and
where were you when I told you put a suit of armor around the world? You didn't listen to me. Where's your freedom now when we lost? I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was painful because Cap was trying to continue like nothing happened, and not that he's ignoring it per se, but I think it's a priority thing for him. Let's deal with the matter at hand. We can get to our squabble later on. And he's like, nah, Cap, I ain't got no clues for you. I ain't got no coordinates for you.
I'm out.
I just got this gripe and I want you to have it. So, that was quite painful to witness, to the point where he's pulling IVs out and everything.
And he needs it and
he collapsed. Yeah, he collapsed, because usually people do that and they remove the oxygen mask. And I hate those scenes so much. I'm like, you need this thing. And the fact that he then still went on to collapse. But it just shows how little he cared. As you said, his priority is more the people around him.
Yeah.
And he's just on some, hey man, I've got this, I've got to get it out. And also when you facing not only your own mortality, but it's on a world or universal stage, you don't care. It's I'm just going to get this thing out there. So I think it was quite an impactful start overall for me, man. I don't know, anything else you want to mention?
I mean, that whole scene is they're still in 2018.
Yeah.
They're still in 2018 and they're holding a grudge and they only gave Thanos 3 weeks before they ended up. Going for the head.
Yeah, because then there's a whole thing about, okay, where's Thanos and whatnot. And
But also, I really liked the reveal. Like, they were all so in disbelief when he said, I use the stones to destroy the stones.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're lying. You're lying. You can't be lying.
Yeah,
Like,
why would you destroy
would
it?
you?
But again, that single-mindedness, that we touched on earlier. But for me, it also kind of speaks to the beginnings of some of the issues I have with the movie.
okay.
First, they we don't know where he is, and they ask Captain Marvel, "Do you have an idea?" Then Nebula. I mean, she didn't even say where he is. She just mentioned the fact that
He wants
once he's done,
Eden,
in the garden or whatever. And they're like, "Well, that's specific," or whatever the line was.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, they say, "Oh, 2 days ago, we saw the same energy surge." So for me, I'm like, "Hey, man,
okay, I get you.
which one is it? Do you know or do you not know? Because clearly there's this big clue, but why is it coming up now?" But yeah, I felt some inconsistency in that regard.
Okay.
Possibly,
agree with that.
a little nitpick, but fine. Fast forward, they now end up, meeting with Thanos. But again, dog, talk about the conviction around what it is that you want to do.
Bro, and for me, it's just you see his whole left side just burn.
Yeah.
Burn.
He looked crazy rough. And when I first saw it, I actually thought it was the aftermath of that battle.
Yeah.
With
And then
Thor.
you realize he snapped twice.
But it's like, nah, it's
the
because
second snap,
when he destroyed the stones. But speaking of which, the discipline, if you will, to have the most powerful elements in the world, use them for the very purpose you set out to, number one.
Yeah.
Sticking to that on its own is incredible.
No takebacks.
And then secondly, leaving it at that. You're not trying to now conquer and, he's like, nah.
Mission accomplished.
And he himself said, once they fulfilled the mission I set out to do, all that was left was temptation, which is why I destroyed them. So I'm like, hey man, this guy, let's see, he's on another. And even when he chose, it's not like he then got a palace or he's in the, he's
a farmer.
He's in the space bundus, dog. He's in the space bundus, slamming it. He had that little pot, he was boiling whatever, poured the water. I'm like, fam.
He just doesn't want spaceship
He's living worse than we are at the moment. We're living it up in comparison to where he was. So it was such an interesting way to tie his whole story together on some. That's literally all he ever wanted, and
he
that's
got
that.
it. Yeah.
Whew. So yeah, I found that on its own to be particularly powerful.
But also that planet was visually stunning.
Yes, yeah. It looked pretty dope. And he's also stripped down. He's got his armor there on some scarecrow vibes.
Yeah.
He's not even prepared to, like they said, no armed forces, no satellites, nothing.
Just him.
Him on the whole planet. I was like, what the hell? Just that notion of whatever happens. I'm fine. I'm open to it. I did my thing.
I did what I needed to do.
That's that. So I'm like, nah. I found that to be quite profound, actually, on his part. Anything else that stood out for you before his demise in that scene?
I think that was it. It was it really it wasn't really short, but you know what I mean.
To the point.
Yeah, to the point. Got what you needed to get done.
Yeah.
Or again, maybe Thor. Just you can see he's, he lost. And Rocket straight up acknowledged we all lost, but him probably a little bit more than others. Yeah.
There's a lot of that to go around. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Then any particular thoughts around his death?
Thanos.
Or execution? Yeah.
Not really. Hey. Thor always says he doesn't miss twice. So.
I found it surprising when I first saw it. Again, I'm like, the subversion of expectations was pretty dope.
But also the fact that they actually went there, chopped it. Well, Disney went there, chopped his head off.
That's the part I was going to speak on. The
actually,
fact that they showed it. I was like, them showing it, I was like, whoa, that is interesting. Of course, they dialed down the blood to, a 0.5, but never mind showing the chopping of the head. Then the splash on Nebula. I was like, okay, Disney. But I've always said, when it comes to the Russos, and I think even James Gunn, they seem to be two of the directing groups where they get away with a lot more than the average director in the MCU, but for the better, without a doubt. Then after that, basically fast forward to the whole notion of, okay, we now need to reverse what has happened. We can't find the stones. What's our next, the next best thing that we can do? It's the time heist, as Paul Rudd referred to it.
So how can I say, they've just been living life for 5 years.
Yeah.
This was like a happy coincidence that happened.
Yes, especially with the rat releasing him.
Yeah. So it's literally a happy coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any strong feelings one way or the other around that. But
hey, kudos to that rat. Everyone's back because of that rat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we know from Ant-Man and the Wasp quantum realm, he's stuck in there, time travel or time dilation, I should say. We don't actually know time travel yet. But it was, I don't know. It's Scott Lang. We like Scott Lang. It was also just hit a little bit more when he thought his daughter had been snapped.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, he had everything hit him in an instant.
He
was in there for 5 hours. He gets out. It's like, what's happening in this world? Wait, what? People died? Okay, there's a monument. Gonna check the names. Everything for him was everyone else had 5 hours. He basically had 5 minutes to absorb everything and just accept and realize what's going on.
Time. Yeah. So I liked that it hit quickly, but then it's like, okay, let's get moving.
Yeah.
But I think just before that, the scene with Natasha and Cap, just to show how hopeless they are.
Yeah.
You can just see everyone's just hopeless. And even Scott, when he's going and finding things, you see like cars still abandoned 5 years later. It's a little bit dilapidated.
Yeah.
So just to show the impact, but then you also have to think, then Cap mentions there's dolphins or whales in the Hudson River. Is Thanos' plan, or he executed his plan, was he right now? Or was he correct? Because things are going back to...
one day before,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Things are going back to how they should have been and not how they were.
Okay, that's actually an interesting point. We can discuss
and
later.
Then obviously Black Widow addresses it with Cap's like, don't you tell me it's getting better. I can't live with myself if it is. So which side of the fence are you on? Because even within the Avengers, you can see they're on different sides of the fence. But I don't know. Just going on a tangent there for a little bit.
I think for me, again, yet another gripe, right? I get what they were trying to portray. I just feel like the way they went about it didn't necessarily hit as hard as I would have loved.
Okay.
So it's like, you're showing the impact that, after all these years, the world is kind of, sort of destitute. But it's like, I don't know to what extent, number one, because all I'm just seeing is cars on the road for the most part, right? You mentioned that, there's a whole thing about there's now whales, in the oceans. Like, okay, there's some of that. And there's discussions among the Avengers themselves. But my thing is that the universe has been cut down in half. The population, anyway.
But you're not seeing any of that.
You're not seeing any of the real impact on that front, The one thing that they did, which is outside of the Avengers space, is just that little support group that they had.
Yeah.
And it's the one guy speaking also, no one else. Shout out, I always forget which of the two, but he's one of the Russo brothers. And so I think that's the thing I was missing, especially as far as the beginning of it. Look, I understand where they started off, Clint and Tony, cool. But after that, show us what everyone else has been going through in the world. If it's a matter of just showing the family disappearing or people just being, still discombobulated and going through the trauma of losing their loved ones. Because remember, only the Avengers know what the hell happened. I don't know if there was some sort of announcement or... Look, there's some subsequent movies kind of speak to it that, people know. But even that, who announced? When? How?
In the moment, how
the people on the ground. I feel like the impact with them wasn't as highlighted as it could have been. Then after we come back to the Avengers, because we focused so much on the Avengers in the previous movie, they were at the center of it. Let's see how everyone else has been dealing. But that being said, the impact on the Avengers was what they were saying. That did hit home, and I mean, even watching Scott going through the motions until that final moment where he kept ringing the doorbell. Then his daughter came in and said, oh, thank goodness she's alive. And that embrace, I was like, oof. I really felt that, you know. I felt the conversation with Cap and Nat when Cap said, I always tell people this, but honestly, I don't know if I can. And it's like, Cap, the most hopeful guy in the world, he got shaken. But at the same time, it's like, if anything's going to shake him, this definitely will shake him. So that tug of, you know, the emotional war, if you will, I definitely did enjoy. It's just a matter of, there's a lot more that could have been done on that front, especially given how the overall movie went. I'm like, some of the other parts we could have done without and rather focused our attention, you know, on these aspects. But yeah, so they're like, all right, time heist, and there's a whole back and forth. Tony, again, talking about understanding both sides. Yeah. He's now like, hey, man, I've got a lot to lose. And the interesting part is that he wasn't even trying to tell them that. It's almost like he was hiding or ashamed to admit that this is the reason why I don't want to do it. He was more on the consequences element. Like, we don't know, there's no guarantees, whatever. I'm not trying to do that. And then the kid came and then became obvious that, he's now got this kid, and, you know, hence the hesitation, where he's usually the most impulsive guy.
Yeah, he's got things to think about.
Exactly. Now, So, what was your take on that spin?
Also surprising. Tony Stark as a kid, he's married to Pepper Potts, arguably. And also he's just so gentle, like, you know.
Yeah.
But also, like, in that conversation with Pepper, was it? Or you can... when they had that conversation, it's like you'll never...
all I've been trying to do is get you to stop.
Yeah, but I can never do it. So it's like, you know, the curse of intelligence, right?
Yeah, and because of knowledge in particular. Yeah.
Will never really stop. So it's just like, you knew it was coming. It's just...
How they pulled it out. And of course...
But didn't he look at the picture
I was going to say, the final...
Spider-Man,
what you might call, the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. When he was doing the dishes, and then he sort of... But interesting enough, that photo was... It's like, I don't know, secondary photo, if you will. There was another one that's a bit more prominent, and I was like, wait, It wasn't obvious as far as who was in that. And then they showed a photo of him and Spider-Man. And it's like... Once he saw that, it's like,
bring the kid back.
Exactly. Like, that guilt in particular is pretty hard for him to shake. Again, I feel like some way, somehow, usually I'll have ideas as far as, if you've done it this way or that way, but all I know is that a little more before we get him switching around could have been better, because it almost came through as like, okay, now I'm just gonna, quickly flip back. But either way, I still understand the motivation and the build-up behind it, and then he's like doing his little Jarvis thing with Friday now, and then the daughter comes through. That was a little adorable moment. You now see him in
blackmail,
with the what is it, the ice
orange
pops or whatever. And then it's like okay, I'm back in it again. Then the one other thing also on there is that the figuring of it out. It's one thing for him to be convinced that, okay, let's give it a shot. I would have loved them to throw it back to classic him and Banner doing the whole genius back and forth thing, and then having the solution come up from that. It felt, again, a little... And look, I'm saying this well aware that we're not dealing with a 3-hour and some change long movie.
And there's like so much you have to
There's a lot that they want to pack in there. So for me, one of the consequences of that is that some of the more emotional touchstones were kind of rushed through, But then it's like, okay, we're gonna time travel, and then that's how we're gonna restore this whole thing. I don't know. There's a strong opinion on your end, one way or the other, as far as how they. Because again, obviously, you can't have it be the ultimate end. You have to fix it somehow. So in terms of the route that they chose to fix this whole thing.
Oh, you mean like the explanation of the timelines?
But no, just the fact that, okay, we're gonna do a time travel thing to fix it. Like,
look. I always feel, and this is me, I've watched a lot of stuff, across a lot of genres and mediums. Time travel always seems like a cop-out. Always. It always seems, no matter how well you do it, it's always a cop-out. And there's nothing really, it's not much else. Like, how do you correct it? You can't correct it.
Yeah.
You just,
In light of who we lost, do you think they should have rather just continued as is? Or perhaps maybe adjusted who we lost and then continue with whoever remains?
That would have probably been a better payoff. But then where do you go? Because this whole movie is based on going back in time.
Yeah.
How do you move forward? Then do you even need a part 2? Do you then just say Thanos won and we're continuing?
Yeah.
And there's no like, is Infinity War a proper closure?
I think the bigger issue probably would have been the fact that by continuing, you essentially saying Thanos was right.
Yeah.
It's one thing to let him win, but to not correct that means that, this is the solution. So I guess, okay, probably wouldn't have been. Yeah, but I basically say that to agree with you on that cop-out as far as the time travel.
Time travel is always going to be a cop-out.
Yeah.
The way they did it, I think, is probably one of the best we've seen in a long time. Even you always have the standard time travel explanation in a movie. I'm happy they did this because it explains the story and other bits and pieces towards the end of the movie, but also like fills in gaps in the movie as well. It's be like Thor just took the hammer, but then you see Cap take the hammer back in time. So like putting things back in its place and not doing branch off timelines. So yeah, I didn't mind. What else are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah, I guess. But part of my gripe in general with time travel is that I don't think I've ever seen a movie with time travel where I can say I like fully understood everything. It's almost like you get the gist of what's happening,
I
and
think
you know.
for me, this was like the easiest to understand, and it makes sense for the target audience.
My confusion is more around that whole putting back thing. It's like, what does it mean? Because there's always that baseline thing where it's like, no matter what you do, you're branching off. The fact that you messed with time to begin with, so
I kind of get it. It's like you take it now, and then as soon as you take it, I'm coming back and putting it back. So there's no time where it ever left. You're basically coming back at the same time.
But then that means absolutely there isn't some other branch or whatever, because in my mind it's like the branch that relates to where you left your time to fix that is still another unresolved thing, and so I'll kind of think of it as like some loop that is infinite in a sense.
So in this one they didn't look at it as a loop. It's a line.
It's like it's gone, then it comes back, and then you just move on.
Yeah. But we know there is a branch that did offshoot when Loki took the Tesseract.
But of course that gets addressed in his series and whatnot. Fair enough. But I think that cop-out thing. But at the same time, as you said, there's no real viable alternative. We know it has to be restored, and so this is just one of the ways.
Unless you go on a journey to find another source of power.
But that probably would have been a little too far-fetched, if anything. Despite all the insane things that already take place.
Or find
in
a
this
being
universe,
above the Infinity Stones or something like that. But do you need an ensemble cast for that? Probably not.
So I guess it's like the list of all available evils, if you will. But I think we might as well just then get to it. For me, it kind of brings me to the point where that online discourse, which is still prominent to this day, is people saying that Endgame is better than Infinity War. And I'm like, not once have I ever believed that, but I'm interested to hear what your take on that is.
So I think when it first came out, we chatted about this.
Yeah.
I say Endgame has the better moments, but the overall story is better in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So yes, we've discussed the story with Infinity War. We're not going to go into that. Endgame is basically, I was thinking about it as watching it. It's the Avengers copying Thanos' template. So going throughout the universe, finding the stones, assembling the gauntlet. And
but just to reverse what he did.
So that's how the story, but it doesn't hit as deeply. Whereas the moments for like the fans stand out a lot more.
Oh, easily the greatest fan service movie moments, rather.
Definitely, in that sense, Endgame is better. The fan service is much, much better. And that's where I think the casuals will likely like it a lot more. So just naming the ones off the top of my head, Cap picking up the hammer.
Fam.
What a moment. In the cinema, wild.
The roar in the
roar,
cinema.
yeah.
And I mean, even watching it now, because obviously in
now,
the cinema, you know, you don't see it coming. There's no rewind. All
but
that
now,
stuff,
now
but
you know it's coming. But I was still on my
watching
couch
the
shaking my
build-up.
legs and even though you know it's coming.
But now you also pay attention to the build-up as well, because we're like, oh, okay, Thor and Thanos were going at it, okay, and then you see then the hammer start to shake and it's going towards him. And I mean, even before then, who was it? No, Vision wasn't there. Who was? There was I think it's Tom Holland when the Spider-Man, when the hammer was flying, then he like kind of whipped onto it. Like I was like, no, Thanos is the one I was thinking of. Thanos himself wielded it to like beat Thor with the hammer. So I was like, even he caught the hammer. I'd forgotten about that actually. Then the big one, the hammer's on the floor, and then it does.
And then you think it's coming to Thor.
Nah, it goes past him, and then Cap does this, and then that little pause. Yeah. It's still ignites an excitement.
See, so like that's I think is the difference and the
without a doubt.
So that's obviously you've got that one. You've got what is it? On your left.
Yeah.
On your left.
Yeah.
Nice
I was hoping
throwback.
you mentioned then when the circle, when the portals open up. Yep.
Yeah, on your left. Let's see the female scene where all the female heroes come together. Much bigger ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Much cooler scene in my opinion as well.
Yes, that was pretty sick.
Let's see other fan service moments. I don't know.
I think just the portals themselves, on your left was like, the intro to it. And funny enough, he wasn't even the first person to come because you're expecting to see Sam somewhere. Yeah. And then you like go, and then it's Black Panther there just walking in with the general and his people. And it's like, oh, okay. And then bit by bit, all the others start to pop in as well. Like, that was, man.
Oh, and then obviously, how can we forget Smart Hulk?
Of course.
That is like probably the biggest fan service moment.
I hated him at first. I'm not even gonna lie.
How can I say? Banner is such a serious character. Hulk is such a serious character. Smart Hulk is not a serious character.
For me, I was like, what are you guys doing? But now I'm like, okay, I don't mind the character. Like, I like the character. But what I absolutely still hate is that little weak-ass green tint that they gave him. I mean, even in the same movie...
But also, he looks smaller than original Hulk. Like, if you look at them, like, he's a smaller build as well.
I actually didn't clock that. But for me, smaller. It's like, even when they showed the time travel scene, you see how green he used to be. And then now, for some reason, he's like this kiwi, lime green. And I'm like, I don't know if that's meant to be part of the evolution, but I'm like, he talks and he wears glasses. What more do you need? He wears clothes also. So that I still don't particularly enjoy. But okay, I guess for those that did enjoy it, it would be, another fan service moment.
So and I'm not sure. There's probably a lot more. I'm not
we'll see if anything pops into mind as we go along. The time travel scenes. I mean, let's get into those. You got Tony going back and then interacting with his dad and having
that was a nice sweet moment. I really like that. And it's like him giving his father advice on how to raise him. I was like,
based on his own words also, and then the little James.
Also, Cap just seeing Peggy through the window is like.
I like the subtlety of that. Like, not a single word was exchanged. She didn't notice him. He was just watching from afar.
And that's the man telling other people to move on. You know what I mean? It's like
still got her photo and everything in his pocket watch. The thingy, the gems, or however you want to put it, Easter eggs, I guess. Jarvis being the driver of her dad and having a British accent. So it's like...
Jarvis was in his life as a real person.
Exactly, the layers on layers in that were pretty dope to see. You had the Cap versus Cap fight, you had
America's ass.
Which I'm still like...
Also the little, I know in the comics, there is a version of Captain America that is part of Hydra, so like...
The head Hydra was pretty sick, the head Hydra.
Dope.
I won't lie. But even just the Easter egg of him walking into the elevator alone, that was incredible because the guys are in there and then he steps in and the other guy holds his gun ready and he's like, hey, are they gonna go again? Is he gonna say, before he starts, saying, gonna jump out? Or, and it's like, nah, don't worry, I've got this. Hydra. I'm like, Yeah, that was pretty
so-
sick. Something I actually enjoyed as well. Obviously, when Tony Stark went to Avengers Towers, we're not seeing the exact scene from the previous movie.
Yeah, it's
They
like
had to
it's the
redo
aftermath.
it. Yeah, and in the beginning, you realize they're hiding the faces, but it was like, yeah, of course, it's how many years later? About 7 years later. There's ages, there's this, that. But later on, there were a few times where they not only show the faces, but it's not clearly obvious. Because for me, those things tend to be, it's like when someone plays a younger version of themselves in a flashback, I'm like, yeah, but I watched season 1, dog. I remember how young you looked. Now it's not quite the same. But here, it was almost a 1-for-1. Like Loki damn near looked the way he did back then. Thor looked damn near. Never mind the hair, that's easy to mimic. But the beard, like those small little touches, like, wow, okay. So I appreciated that, as the observant fan. What else? Okay, Scott was with Tony and Cap. Hawkeye, where did he go again?
He was with Natasha at Vormir.
Okay,
so Soulstone.
That wasn't a throwback,
scene,
but that was
where they were.
scene,
For me, it was just the realization where they're both talking about themselves.
Yeah, we know who has to die and whatever, but it's like, yeah. And also, you would, I guess the natural, obvious choice is like, hey man, Clint has a family, Natasha doesn't really, but he's like, even with the family and everything, he's ready to sacrifice himself. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that hit. And you know the potential, like you haven't seen Hulk and Black Widow finally
but she's on some, hey man, and the growth that she herself has gone through is,
but also you could, like, for her, she's doesn't have, she lost her will,
The team is like, her primary family, but
lost her will
even
to
the sacrifice on that front was pretty dope. But not to mention them being best friends. I mean, even arriving there, they're like, this is a long way from Budapest, so there's that core thing. So it's not just a matter of I'm killing myself and leaving everything behind. It's like, I'm dying in front of my best friend. And so I think, the emotional dynamics that were at play. And the fact that it was a full-on battle. Like, it wasn't just, this one went and, they were like fighting each other proper to make the sacrifice.
And then the other pairing, what I did enjoy was Nebula and Rhodey being a pairing.
Oh, yeah.
And then after they took
trying to catch Star-Lord's
and after they took the stone, it's like, I wasn't always like this. And he was just like, me too. I was like, bars. Bars.
And then just at the last second, as she was meant to go, then, she got taken home. Yeah, but I think, it was obviously more the Cap and Tony thing where they did the ritual angle with the time travel. But I actually did enjoy, everyone's like, weird beard, hippie beard and whatnot. That was quite the interesting one to observe. And all the little other Easter eggs, man, like the Hank Pym thing. It was like, damn, I didn't realize. I mean, yes, Hank Pym hates the Starks because they work together, whatever, but now kind of seeing the time where they were in the same vicinity is like, okay, that was pretty sick. The throwback location, because that's where Cap went to find the guy's consciousness.
Not even, it's where it was conceptualized. I think it's...
they said the birthplace of Captain America, but also, I think when Howard Stark was calling for someone, I think it is that doctor whose consciousness was...
Zola,
So it's like, the tying in on multiple fronts that took place over there, I think I found, to be quite sick. Then fine, you get the stones and you come back and then,
let's not forget about Thor and Rocket.
Where did they...
They went to Asgard. Thor needed the closure and he got it with his mom.
And who was going through it more than Thor? I mean, between Thor and Tony in this movie, sheesh, man.
I think Thor, because you saw the whole man change.
Thor was just something else, especially because it's like that thing where it's like
he literally lost his confidence.
But that's what I'm getting at. That whole thing about seeking revenge. Even if you get it, you're not going to be fulfilled. He got his revenge. He chopped Thanos' head off, but he was still like, I'm lost. I still don't have anyone in my life. Valkyrie was like, look, he's over there, but he's not going to be much help. We barely see him as set to just get his supplies, So I think, that whole thing, and it's like the mom was in the missing piece that he needed in order to just get him back to himself. That was pretty, man. And on the day that she was gonna die as well.
And also just for him for the hammer to come to him, just to stroke his ego, I'm still worthy. you know. So like, yeah.
Yeah, no, man. Like, again, on both fronts between these two movies, the one thing you can't take away, between the writing and the Russo's directing, the emotional weighting.
Yeah.
That
For
was
certain
just,
characters.
yeah. It was absolutely on a whole other level, you know.
Yeah.
Anything else before the penultimate reversal?
To me, I like the acknowledgement in the time travel when they're building the stuff of Rocket to say to Stark, like, you're not the only genius. You're only a genius on Earth. Just a little, like, you know, it's just Rocket being Rocket, or Rabbit being Rabbit, or Raccoon being Raccoon. You take your pick.
That little humbling moment.
Yeah, but just to show that, you know, there's a lot more out there in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that.
Captain Marvel, man. What's your take as far as how much we saw her?
I think that's exactly what they wanted us. That's exactly what they wanted her to be in the movie.
But is that for better or for worse?
I think for me, it's for better.
Okay.
Because then it's not just cop out, why didn't Captain Marvel? The characters actually have to work their things. And it is totally justified because she says, like, Earth has the Avengers. There are thousands of other planets who do not. So she's looking out for the greater universe.
Yeah.
And I think the whole point was to forget her up until the point where those guns start turning up into the sky. I know in the cinema when I saw that, I was like, oh, I actually forgot about you.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you just see she comes in and dominates. Like, she dominates. The whole ship
came in hard.
Destroyed. You know, she Infinity Gauntlet vibes, you know.
And even how they
she ran the train.
That scene was pretty dope, you know, when Thanos like, make it rain.
Fire.
But sire, soldiers, what is it, our troops? He's like, just do it. And then it just goes. That was pretty insane.
And then you just see, like, why is it what's going on? And they,
she's out there doing
so I think that's why it's a movie of moments. And that moment's really, really impactful. And, you know, I don't think she needed to be in the movie.
Man, that's such a profound way of putting it. Like, the point around the moments versus just the flow of the whole movie. Because, the moment's something I didn't necessarily zone in on as much. Because I was just focused on, like, the start to end flow on both fronts, you know. But okay. Any other special moments you wanna touch on?
I mean, watch the fights. Like,
all the fights. I mean,
all the fights.
And we got like a relatively subdued Thanos, but until the end, when it's then time to.
I think he only really picked up at the end. Like, it was the first two-thirds of the movie was just the time heist. Shout out to Sorcerer Supreme, the ancient one.
The ancient one, yes. It's quite an interesting conversation that they had with Banner. Especially how then she changed her mind upon hearing that, no,
he's supposed to be the best of us.
Like, I was like, that's pretty sick. Not to mention, again, ancient one, ancient knowledge type of thing, where he's like, I'm looking for Doctor Strange, like a few years too early, but she already knows that he's coming. I'm like, that was actually my favorite aspect of that entire dialogue. Yeah.
But also, it was really cool to see that Smart Hulk is actually just Banner, because when his soul came out of him, or his astral form, it was Banner, not. Because you always think it's Hulk and Banner as two entities.
Yeah, that's why, to his point, he's like, nope, he's not the
Hulk that
thing to cure. He's not a disease. He is the cure in a sense. Yeah.
So I think that's it from my side.
Yeah.
For that first 2/3.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in particular jumping out. But again, it's like special moments. I mean, a funny one. So when they were in Wakanda, no, this is the other one. I didn't mention it in that, but since it's part 2 of it, might as well throw it back. When they were about to get Bucky his arm, Black Panther was like, I think the White Wolf has been resting long enough. It's time for him to.
He may be tired of war, but war is not. Yeah.
Exactly. I realized when they were presenting the arm to him, and then I saw the shot of Black Panther standing here and the general standing here. That's from that little meme that circulates every now and then, where they show the goats making a noise while they were filming. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna send it to you. I was like, it was that exact scene actually, because given the background, and I saw the goats as well. So it's a funny little fun fact in there, but I think the fight there, and I realized we've got a more subdued Thanos, but it's also because, if anything, he's now more relaxed because he knows that he does get the stones,
eventually,
and now he's going to the moment where all the stones are assembled. So I was like, oh, okay, I see it. And
this is a different Thanos as well. He's got a whole different perspective.
Yeah, because it's like far before
Like,
we
how
got
traumatic
to.
must it be to see yourself beheaded?
Yeah, but the funny part is he wasn't even fazed by it because he's like, oh, so the mission still is a success. And still that didn't shake him. He still remained on that same front. And I don't anticipate him having done anything different should he have gotten the stones. Again, the single-mindedness.
Destroying Earth.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. But the question now becomes, is it that his plan failed or it was too soon to judge? Because, 5 years also isn't that long of a time if you want to talk about generational shift in behavior.
I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I want to enjoy the movie.
I think it was just too soon. Even if other planets may have shifted, well within 5 years or well before the 5-year mark, I think it was just a matter of, the whales, it may seem like a silly throwaway example, but it's still something. It's like, because remember, you have two things happening. The humans are not over-indulging as much as far as our limited resources, but at the same time, we're also not over-polluting. So over time, the changes are actually going to start kicking in. So I think, maybe not as a guarantee, but definitely as a possibility, that could be why he didn't see Earth thriving the way he anticipated that it would. Was there something that you wanted to?
No, my perspective was he's destroying Earth because he's getting back at the Avengers.
No. It's because he said he saw that it wasn't thriving as much as it meant to. And he's like, it's also not thriving because you guys know what happened. So let's eliminate the element of people knowing and that holding them back. And therefore rather reset back to zero. I'm sure it didn't hurt that, the Avengers were going to get screwed in the process. But that was his whole thing. Because even on other planets, he always said that, it's at random. We don't care about rich, poor, intelligent and not. Then, of course, you have the penultimate moment of Tony's big sacrifice. And just before then, you have Doctor Strange also observing him on some... Okay,
even before the fight, it's like, if I tell you, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, because now he's going to freak out around, having to sacrifice
Or he's going to
himself.
think of trying to do something else.
Exactly. He's like, how can we circumvent this thing? But I think, that was just something else, man. It's like, I am inevitable. And you say, Quing! And then you see all the gems assemble there, and it's like, I am Iron Man. And I was like, oh! I won't lie, that definitely,
what a way to end it, right?
It got the waterworks going for me so in the cinema, like just watching Tony snap, and then the way his lifeless body was just there, like there was no question around, like he was gone, and I'm like, damn, after all that, and with all the close calls he had, the stabbing of Thanos, the thing in the ship running out of oxygen, and then it's like, no, now this is it. He's just gone, but also he sacrificed himself, saving the universe, restoring it back to the way it was before. And I was like, man, I definitely felt so. To your point again, the moments in this movie, they definitely had quite a few, which I guess can bring us to the conversation of between the two, Infinity War and Endgame. In spite of what you said earlier, but which would you say is the better movie?
I would go Infinity War. Yeah, better story.
Yeah. It seems like an unpopular opinion, interesting enough, which always annoys me, to be honest. But I certainly agree with you that Infinity War still holds up as the better movie.
Better story, yeah.
And I like that it was driven by a philosophy which, in a way, makes sense. Not that I necessarily supports that vision or anything like that, but if you think about it, you can see why one would come to that conclusion. Whereas this one was more driven by convenience.
Yeah.
I've always said, again, it's like time travel, that's what you rely on and whatnot. You reverse something that's already taken place and that sort of thing. Not to mention some of the pitfalls I feel took place as far as, we didn't see enough of an impact as far as what happened on Earth. Even with the restoration itself, it's like people just come back and then the movie ends after that. So there were a couple of touch points that we could have gone into. but there are a lot of insane and great moments that they definitely delivered on.
They paid off like
absolutely no doubt
10 years.
on that. So we might as well get into our rating then. What do you give Infinity War out of 10?
Oh, Infinity War probably 9.5. 9. Let's go with solid 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give it a 9. I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
sheesh. Look, it does have that little asterisk as far as you need the backstory, unfortunately, with this. You know, you only enjoy it so much without knowing what happened in the other movies, or at least enough of the other movies.
Yeah.
But it still works amazingly
It's a solid movie,
well.
yeah.
Without a doubt. And then Endgame.
I would say a touch lower, so maybe like a 8. Yeah. And no, actually 8.5. A touch lower. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll settle on 8.
Because there are some 8s that we've given, and Endgame is definitely better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, now for me, I'm gonna give it a solid 8, just to still, have that gap between the two, but definitely an enjoyable, viewing experience either way. Then that's pretty much our rating between the two movies. We know, or rather, you guys know now which we prefer. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever it is, man, hit us up in the comments, hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow us on Instagram, the Phantom Geek Zone. And as far as which direction we're going to head into next, I mean, this is now the end of, the Infinity Saga, as we've said. It's been quite a ride.
There's some good ones to come, some not so good ones to come.
Yeah, but this is also like, the golden age and golden era.
If I didn't see
MCU,
an MCU movie after this, I would have been happy.
Literally, this could have been such an amazing end, across the entire board.
Yeah.
But there are a few more to get into, and we'll certainly be doing that. But as far as which ones exactly, just make sure you keep your eyes glued, to PGZ.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Do you know what to do top 5?
Oh, damn. Yo, damn. All right. Shit. But also, why you let me talk about the subscribing and this and that?
You just want to do it as a short like 5 minutes.
No. We're definitely getting into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know editing wise.
Don't worry, we're still rolling, so everything is gonna just we're gonna keep it going. Yeah, top 5.
So we pieced out, but we're back again.
So, well, we're still here rather because we didn't cut nothing. So. Top 5, yes, big conversation we need to get into, right? Just to recap, we've got Iron Man 1 as the number 1 movie.
Spider-Man Homecoming
number 2. Captain America Civil War in number 3.
Yep.
We've got Captain America Winter Soldier number 4.
And Avengers.
We've got Avengers 1 as number 5. Whew, yeah, now we're talking Infinity War and Endgame.
So I think Infinity War for me will take number 1. Yeah.
The question then becomes soul number 1 or shade number 1?
Soul number 1.
Soul number 1. I only put that out there because we're talking about the strength that Iron Man 1 has as a solo movie versus Infinity War being an ensemble movie. I don't know how you want to slice it as a
I still think you need to have it number 1.
Okay.
Because it's the culmination. It's the, Well, for me, it's the culmination.
Infinity War?
Wait, sorry.
Infinity War was number 1, yes.
Yeah, Soul number 1.
And then Endgame. What's the story?
Endgame, okay. Whew. Is it... So I don't think it'll be 1, 2, 3. I think you've got Infinity War, Iron Man, Spider-Man. Those 3 I think are solid for me.
Okay, still our top 3.
It's whether it's taking...
Because also, why we didn't have... Because I don't disagree with Infinity War. So it means our top 5 is then Infinity War, Iron Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, then Captain America Civil War is number 4.
Winter Soldier.
And Captain America Winter Soldier is number 5.
So now, would I watch... So now I think it's a toss-up between whether it goes into 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on there as well. Yeah. I would even entertain not having it in the top 5. Because of there's great moments, but when you talk about the dips in relation to everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be in, but I wouldn't be mad if it weren't in there, which is why I'm like, okay, if you're thinking 4 and 5, I can see that. I just want to get your full thoughts around that notion.
Okay, that makes sense because Civil War and Winter Soldier are better stories.
Yeah, super great standalones. Again, there is an ensemble element and so on,
And I
But-
guess Civil War is a better story and does have moments as well.
Yeah.
So maybe not 4. So
And
does
also,
it break into the
for-
5th?
My thing is that we must also keep in mind it's a part 2 movie, but part 1 carried so much of that that I don't necessarily think by default it should be in, and
Okay.
yeah. But again, let's discuss particularly with Winter Soldier, right? Because I mean, we can still, at worst, I'd say, or at best rather, a shared five. I can see that between Winter Soldier and Endgame. But as an additional caveat, at the risk of contradicting myself, we also can't discount I mean, if you think of just, let's say like the last fight scene.
Yeah, the
It's fate of the world.
cultural phenomenon as well.
Exactly, the overall impact that it had, man. I'm like,
I think it needs.
if anything,
it needs to be
even
in the
4, man.
4.
Even 4, we might now talk about sharing.
I think so. I think I'm with you there. I think a shared 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope that the reasoning is gonna shine more, because it's easy for people to be like, "What do you mean number 4?" And I'm like, "No, but think about."
If you're looking at
everything we're
movies
saying.
only, Civil War is a touch better. But then you're looking at outside of movie, what happened in our life for us people,
Yeah.
and it was such a big thing.
We spoke a lot around, the cinema moments and the real time impact. We were right in the middle of it. This is not something we caught later.
Yeah.
We felt the buzz all in real time. So I think having
I
it
think a shared
shared
4th is
with Civil War
is a good shout.
Yeah, this is a good place to have
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but again, agree, disagree? Are we bugging? Are we not? Hit us up down there in the comments. Otherwise, that's it for this round of reviews from the boys from the Fans and Geek Zone. We'll catch you at the next one. For real this time.
Yeah.
Peace.